May 31st, 2014. Guys, things seem to be moving at a rapid pace biblically in the Middle East, and let's pay attention to this. And some of you guys may have seen where they are having problems on the Euphrates River, but this is the Tishran Dam in Syria. Syria has cut this off downstream in order to maintain height. And you're looking at old ruins there, right in the middle of the Euphrates River. Now, what's happened is because Syria shut this down, it's shut down to Iraq. Already within 2 days of this report that came out yesterday, they say millions of people are on the verge of not having any water at all. This is a 6-meter drop. This is the dam we're looking at. And they've shut this off to try to preserve water, not intentionally cutting it off from Iraq. But what's happened above Syria, Turkey has cut it off. Now, don't know how the exact, we don't know the details on their water supply. We do know there's political pressure on Syria from Turkey because of what Assad has been doing to his people. We've seen the ruin of Damascus. That's how close we are in prophecy, guys. But what you're not only dealing with water, but electrical power to these people. Now, when you talk about taking people's water, you're talking about a lot of trouble as we look through this area. But again, Turkey's north of Syria. Turkey cut it off. Syria now has cut it off to maintain theirs. But they don't have enough there. They're already in trouble. Reservoirs are already running dry. Baghdad is going to be cut off. Now, that's going to dry the Euphrates River. Look what's across Iran. You see that red area, guys, when that river goes down, when it goes dry? We talked about it. We've read about it in the Bible, and I'm going to go there because there's two important things that we need to tie into this. And of course, we've all talked about the kings of the East. Now, you think, well, if Iran makes a move, what will the U.S. do? Well, Iran is now backed basically by Russia and China because Russia and China's ties are very close. You have a complete formation of the kings of the East. And what the Bible tells us is that if this is what we're seeing, this is where it's going to lead, to this valley called Armageddon. Great valley. It's seen many battles before. It's a crossroads. But that's what we're talking about, guys. That's how important this is. And just 2 months ago, we were doing the Pope series. That's fifth seal. That's the release of the Locust Army, which I am very convinced is the new world religion in this Locust Army that doesn't kill the grass or the trees, just has the ability to harm man. That is the super preachers that we see as the Pope moves his new world religion around the world. Now, there's another army. Fifth seal, we see the army that's released. Again, the Locust Army with the breastplates of iron. It's a different deal in the sixth seal. But let's look at just the headlines from yesterday. Turkish government recently cut off the flow of the Euphrates River, threatening primarily Syria, but also Iraq with a major water crisis. A newspaper there found out the water level in Lake Assad has dropped by about 6 meters, leaving millions of Syrians without drinking water. 2 weeks ago, the Turkish government once again intervened in the Syrian crisis. This time was different from anything it had attempted before, and the repercussions of which may bring unprecedented catastrophes onto both Iraq and Syria. So they're violating international norms. It goes on, and you can pause this, but you may want to study also who ISIS is, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIS, and who controls some of that. Controlling the region the dam is located, it did not suspend the water output. That's what I was saying. Syria didn't, as far as just trying to block Iraq. They had no choice, and really they let it get too low before they did it. It's already affecting drinking water and possibly could cause some collapse of these dams, because when you take that much pressure off that long, you can have a lot of cracking. Just that's the same way that sinkholes form. But anyway, it says that the water supplies and auxiliary reservoirs in Al-Kafsha are close to being deleted, and the reservoirs are expected to run out of water completely by tonight or tomorrow morning. That was yesterday. This threatens to leave 7 million Syrians without access to water. Also, Tishran Dam, that's when I was showing you, stopped receiving any water, which blocks its electricity generating turbines, decreasing the power supply in Aleppo and its countryside, further intensifying the already severe imbalance in the power supply there. Now, think about it, guys. Your lights are turned off and you don't have any water. You think you'll fight? You'll fight or you'll die. Now, it goes to this. Now, this is going to answer a couple of questions that I've had lately. But let's start at the top at Revelation 9:7. It says, the shape of the locusts were likened to horses prepared unto battle. Their heads were crowns like gold, and the faces were faces of men. And I showed you those images of the popes with the golden crowns, guys. And remember, here it says, and they had breastplates, and they were breastplates of iron. Remember that also, because that has happened. We've seen that release. We saw that, whatever you want to call that, magic parade they gave us there. But what we've seen is people like the Pope send Tony Palmer to all the evangelists across the world now, coming under one world religion. That's the locust army. If you don't understand, go back and check some other videos. But now we're dealing with the sixth angel. And it says, the sixth angel which had the trumpet, they said, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay a third part of men. Now, it's a different army. In Revelation 9, you had the locust army. This is a different army. This is the army that we could see move over this water supply. It says the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, not iron. Different army. Jacqueline and brimstone. This is an army. And the heads of horses were the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. By these 3 were the third part of men killed by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouth. Now, I'm going to go into Revelation 16, but this answers 2 questions. One I had, was there 21 events we're dealing with in Revelation, or is there 7 looked at from 3 different viewpoints, in order for, no matter where you're at on this globe, you can recognize one of these 3 events. In other words, the 6 trumpet, 6 seal, 6 vial are the same thing, and I'm going to show you that. So what we're dealing with is the movement from the locust army. So we're seeing first the wave of the New World religion. Now we're seeing destruction coming to the Middle East. Now listen, let's go to 16. The 5th angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and the kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. When you see that one world religion, the kingdom is dark. The 6th angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Both times you see 9 with the 6th there. Now you're seeing the 6th angel poured out his vial. Again, river Euphrates. You understand what I'm saying? There's 7 events. This is how close we could be, guys. He said the water was thereof dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For these are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, not just the Middle East, to gather them to the battle of the great day of God Almighty. Next verse, we just talked about this. Behold, I come as a thief, not when you expected. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. In other words, keep in your righteous steadfastness. And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Then right after that, guys, the 7th angel, we know in all 7 events and all 3 sections of the 21 events, many people call that, It's not. It's 7. The 7th is the day of the Lord. And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not seen since man was upon the earth. Guys, this area could become very volatile. They're talking about the whole world. Remember the kings of the earth, and we've seen Carrie in and out of this area many times lately. It's a heads up, guys, but check out Revelation. Look at 9 and 16. Look at the same things happening on the 6th event both times. That's how close we could be. Heads up.